to the capital of the lacrosse world, Baltimore, Maryland. Today, Baltimore's team, Johns Hopkins, they represent a city whose hearts are heavy following the Keybridge tragedy that unfolded this week. Today, it's a battle for the top spot in the Big Ten. Hopkins and Michigan from Homewood Field. Hi, everybody. Alongside Paul Carcaterra, I'm Chris Cotter. Michigan comes back to this field. They got some pretty good memories from this spot.
Oh, yeah, Cotter. Last spring, they win the Big Ten championship at Homewood Field. The thing, though, is they haven't been able to solve Hopkins in the regular season. The Wolverines have only beaten the Blue Jays once in program history. To me, the winner today, though, they take pole position, early spring pole position with Penn State in the Big Ten.
Well, speaking of program history, Johns Hopkins has had some great goal scorers. They've got another one in Garrett Degnan.
Johns Hopkins has been playing lacrosse since 1883. No one has had a longer goal-scoring streak than the grad student, Garrett Degnan. He's a lefty, he shoots about 100 miles per hour. He stretches a defense, which allows the rest of the Blue Jays to come to the party offensively. But Degnan this season has also experienced more of a dodging presence. Because teams are pressing out at him as a shooter, it opens up his ability to beat defenses one-on-one.
You know, you think about Michigan, they lost some firepower in the offseason transfer portal, but they also brought some in the form of Justin Tiernan.
Just what the doctor ordered, and Tiernan is like a center in basketball. He owns the paint. He leads the nation in goals and goals per game. He's 6'3", he's 210 pounds. He can soak checks from a defense. I love his subtle movements inside. And he's so crafty off ball, you have to account for him. And when you put the playmakers like Michael Boehm and Cone around him, he is the perfect fit for this offense.
Both teams come into this series at 1-0, or this game, I should say. As you look at the series history, it's been all Johns Hopkins. As Clark mentioned, just that one Michigan win. Both teams are 1-0 in Big Ten play as we start this game. Coming off impressive wins, Hopkins on the road, a win against Rutgers last weekend. Michigan beating Maryland for the third straight time with a win over the Terps. So the winner of this game, undefeated in Big Ten play, they will remain at that lofty level at 2-0. Logan Callahan, Justin Wheatfeld will face off to start us going, and Wheatfeld wins it cleanly to himself. He's a scoring threat. Instead, he tries to bounce it to Mikey Boehm, and it's going to be a turnover immediately.
Wheatfeld is a big-time advantage for the Michigan Wolverines at the face-off X today. One of the best in the country. Specialist of the year in the Big Ten a season ago when Michigan won the Big Ten. I think that is a situation for Johns Hopkins. Will have to be creative in terms of their wing play to offset the dominance of Wheatfeld.
Ball on the ground here as Hopkins can't get it clean clear. Now it's back to Michigan. Wolverines look for early offense. Instead, they pull it out.
Look at Bo Pedersen, 89 for the Wolverines, a short stick defensive midfielder. With the PLL draft coming up, I think he will be the first short stick defensive midfielder picked.
He can stay on both sides of the field, and right away he scores.
He had a huge goal a week ago, Cotter, against Maryland in Ann Arbor. And I mentioned he is a big-time pro prospect because of his physicality as a defender, matching up against teams' offensive midfielders, but he also gives you this dimension. His ability to strike when the substitution game is going. You can keep him on the field, and he can attack the opposing team's offensive midfielders who are trapped and forced to play defense, and they're in no rush to get Pedersen off the field.
Pedersen's fourth of the year. Michigan is 6-0 on the year when they strike first, as they have today. Face-off violation goes against Callahan. Wheatfeld will put it in play. He keeps Callahan on. Let's see how long that lasts. He's going to set a pick. Now he'll run off.
It's the first violation. 3 violations will be a technical foul and a half. 30 seconds man advantage in the power play for the Wolverines. And I expect Hopkins to be a little jumpy at the face-off X because of Wheatfeld's dominance.
Bo Lockwood, number 2 in blue. He'll run some out of the box and play some attack. He's an outstanding passer. 19th in the country in assists per game, number 2 in blue. Now here's Boehm, right on the cusp of becoming the all-time leading scorer in Michigan history. See how much respect he gets as Hopkins shows, but they don't go. Here's Cone. Up top to Ronda. Transfer from Princeton. Lockwood skips it to the far side. Big shot save made by Erlin. Now he covers up.
Beautiful stop by Erlin. Sixth-year senior transfer from Cornell. Got his undergrad up in Ithaca. Played for Pete Milliman, who was the coach at Cornell prior to Johns Hopkins. So those two are accustomed to each other in terms of player-to-coach relationship.
Michigan coaches wanted an over and back. Maybe even wanted an offside, too, on top of that. Got neither. So it remains Hopkins' ball. Bauer. Gives you speed and quickness, number 7 in white. Behind to Peshko, now near side to Melendez. Look at the ball movement here by the Blue Jays. That's a staple of this John Crawley, Peter Millman offense. Melendez spins, gets a step on his defender, shoots, didn't have a great angle, but Angeles is there to back it up.
And how cool is it, Cotter? 7 in white, Dylan Bauer. Same high school as Bo Pedersen, who scored the first goal for Michigan. Park City, Utah. We talk about the growth of college lacrosse and its participants. That's representing big time in terms of coast to coast, the ability for this sport to grow.
Peshko gets inside and scores! Hopkins has got some big midfielders, Collison, Grimes, and 51, Jonathan Peshko.
Absolutely. Peshko is a big body. 6'4", 200 pounds. He's got that long wingspan. As a midfielder, he's going to dodge against a short stick, and he's going to go to the rack. You see, he uses the physicality right there. That contact throws the Michigan defense off of their line. They lose the leverage game there, and Peshko's so smart in terms of knowing when to roll after he makes that initial contact. It's bam and then roll.
Wheatfeld wins another one. Here's Pedersen, Michigan's goal scorer. Bame shoots on the run. Save made by Erlin that time.
You think about Michigan offensively, Michael Bame, the KG vet, a 4-year starter. He's being defended by a true freshman in Kilrain, 6 in white. You talk about the upside of that defender and the faith that the coaching staff have in that young man defending Bame right here. This is a freshman on a senior.
Bame gets it back. Now back to Lockwood. Lockwood loses this one as the pass goes over the head of Cohen. That's going to be an over and back.
That's not typical of Bo Lockwood from a turnover perspective. Got the switch. Michigan likes to use the pick game. They had the matchup. Like the ball just kind of flew off of Lockwood's stick.
Melendez tried to pass it to Angeles just a little bit too. I'm going to say that's a pass, yeah, for sure.
I think Melendez is in a little bit of a slump. Yeah. Last year we saw him. He was spectacular late in the season. Broke a program record for most points in the postseason in their first round win against Bryant. The expectations, I think, were so high for Melendez, 31 in white. And when you're struggling, sometimes you think too much. I thought he should have just fired that shot.
Yeah, confidence is a thing. He's been doing a lot of extra work after practice. Scored 2 big goals last week against Rutgers, so maybe that gets him going a little bit. Let's see how he comes out here early, and especially after that last turnover. But now Hopkins gets it back. Sort of a half-hearted hidden ball trick. Angeles still has it. Now Jimmy Ayers, another talented freshman, comes onto the field for Hopkins, number 4 in white. Angeles, the party starter, if you will. 23. Degnan sets him a pick. Can't get free from Clay. He's a very talented freshman in this game. Clay's another one with a long pole. Can play both LSM and close D, which is what he's playing today. He wears number 3. Here's Melendez.
You see a lot of picking. Michigan has struggled in a couple games. Virginia, first half against Maryland, playing the picks defensively. I expect Hopkins to throw a huge dose of the pick game against Michigan.
Chavette gets a wide open look and sends it wide.
That's the look they want for 34 and white. Another freshman, one of the best shooting freshmen in college lacrosse. A lot of people think his release is similar to Mac O'Keefe, who's the all-time leading goal scorer in Division I lacrosse history. He can stretch a defense. Plays for the Utah Archers, O'Keefe.
There's Chavette. Taylor got a piece of it.
It's good defense by Michigan. Forcing Chavette, a big-time lefty, to his weak right hand down the alley. A little tentative on that shot.
Hall Roberts brought into the offensive end, tried to clear a little space for Babe. Now he'll run off. Aronson will come on, as will Lockwood. The early going here from Baltimore. Both teams getting a feel. On an absolutely gorgeous day. You get into days like this in northern cities, Cark,
oh, man, it's the best.
People really come out.
Hibernating.
Yes.
Spring lacrosse in Baltimore.
And especially if you're a school like Michigan, who's had to play a lot of cold weather games already this year, this is a nice little reprieve for them.
And now we're getting into conference play where these teams will just focus on Big Ten play. You turn the page, we're almost at April. Things are heating up.
Boom, Lockwood. He can do more than just pass the rock.
Scouting report on Bo Lockwood is feed first. Only 5 goals heading into today's contest. Second on the team in assists. He's an attacker, a record breaker in the state of Michigan. He stayed home playing for Coach Kevin Connery on the road against Hopkins, stretching the D. The Wolverines are up by 1. Said he was robbed an assist by Sports Information Director Ernie LaRosa. It was a game he thought was his junior year against Towson. He fed Peter Lesor on a goal. And
he's got all the details of that story.
Axe to grind.
Yes.
I guess Ernie LaRosa went back into the archives and gave him the assist because it's there.
It's there, at least by our records, and those are the records that count.
Yeah, you don't want to shortchange a defender any points because they don't get in the scoring column like these
because they still remember it all these years later.
Done a tremendous job getting them to new heights in 2023. Quarterfinal appearance against Duke. Won the Big Ten championship at Homewood Field. So they're a big boy in college lacrosse right now, and they have the brand to back it up at Michigan.
Now the double team will come. Initially, Collison did a good job of getting out of it, but it's going to be a turnover. Billy gets it quickly to Mike Bain. Bain trying to get a pick. Can't get free. 3 defenders all around him. Now gets it to Cohen. Cohen in front. Tiernan scores. That is 44's home right there.
When you are a tremendous inside presence, a crease finisher like Justin Tiernan, the rules typically don't apply the same to you as other players. And your feeders, your distributors know that. Ryan Cohn is the passer here. It doesn't look like there's much here in terms of all the sticks and Erlin in the cage potentially knocking this pass down, but he knows if he gets it through, Tiernan is going to make it count. That's the nation's leading goal scorer. 44 for the Maize and Blue, making it count once again.
Michigan forging this lead with 2 goals in the last minute 6. Looks like they may have had that one too as Jackie Weller takes that draw from Michigan, still battling for it in the middle of the field. Out of bounds, that's going to go to Michigan.
That's a perfect example of when you don't necessarily win the draw or it's a 50-50 scrum. You fight all 6 players that are involved in the face-off. Swarm to the ball, and that extra effort right there by Michigan gives them possession.
Lockwood, Aronson, Ronda, your midfielders for the Maize and Blue. They have two lines, a maize line and a blue line, rather than a first line and second line midfielders. They'll go very deep. Both these teams are very deep at midfield. Lockwood trying to find some space. Try to get it out front to Cohn. You can see all these players are interchangeable too. Cohn will be behind X, Cohn will be up front.
Great point. Lockwood and Cohn are interchangeable. 40 and 2. We'll play attack, we'll play midfield. You have a lot of flexibility with this unit.
Bame's got a shorty. Can he break free? Tough angle, but he gets a great pass to the other side, and Michigan scores again. Did they? Yes, they did. Yes. Took the official a little while to give us confirmation as that ball rattled around, but across the goal line, Michigan's hot at the start of this game.
This is a fantastic pass. We've seen 2 consecutive passes now. The prior one by Ryan Cohn, this one by Michael Bame. You see all the eyes of Johns Hopkins defensively. The white shirts are all on Michael Bame as a goal scorer right there. He attacks the cage. Look at all the white shirts, the blue helmets. The eyes are on him. He knows that, and the backside is wide open. And Lockwood gets his second of the day. That is such a big-time IQ-type move by a senior in Michael Bame. Initial dodging presence becomes a passer because of all the help. He had the short stick on him. So all the Hopkins defenders were on red alert. They wanted to double quickly. He knew that, and if he just held the ball that extra second, that backside was going to be wide open.
Michigan is really dominating possession, but a beautiful job defensively by Hopkins to get it back. Wiedfeld is owning the circle as that ball gets saved and sky high out of play. That was a great play defensively by Brandon Aviles.
So the big connection for this offense. Angelus behind the cage, 23 in white. Degnan, 40 in white. You have the righty passer in Angelus, the lefty shooter in Degnan. That's been the lethal combination all season long for the Blue Jays.
Here's Degnan on the far side, looking to dodge. He's got Chauvet to his right. Comes near side, passes a little bit high, but Grimes brings it in. Melendez with 16 to shoot. Gets it back to Grimes. Tough angle. No shot. Chauvet chases it down, but just 10 to shoot for Hopkins. Angelus with almost a desperation pass out front. Degnan's going to track it down, but no time to get anything off. Just fires it into the corner.
Good D by Michigan. Hold them in check. They had a couple of tired short stick defenders. Pedersen, 89 in blue. He's still on the field too. He's taking a shift where it's there, back, and there. 3 lengths of the field. I'm surprised he hasn't subbed out.
There's John Morgan wearing 66 today, and he's got Wolverines on the back of his jersey. That's pretty cool.
Johnny Wolverine.
Yeah. Michigan has canned their last 3 shots, Card. They are extremely efficient early on here in Baltimore offensively. Cohen going to get a pick from Tierney. Instead, he slips it. Erlin makes the save. Here comes Hopkins.
Green
Third
light.
save for Erlin. Boom! Hunter Jaronski, the short stick mini. And that gets the crowd and that sideline going.
You heard me saying green light, Cotter. The reason being, you had the freshman long stick, Quentin Kilrain. You talk to Peter Milliman. He gives that freshman the green light to strike in transition. Your short stick defensive midfielders stay on the field. One is Jaronski. So the ball goes low. Jaronski stays high here. Doesn't continue his cut If he continues his cut, he goes into the heart of that defense. He's smart enough to stay high, to keep the shooting space, and to hammer one home.
Michigan's won all 7 faceoffs today. Now what can they do with this possession as it's back on the ground? Hopkins got it back. Now we're going to get a push in the back.
A little chippy.
That was a hard hit.
Yeah, Scott Smith, 18 in white, doesn't like it. Senior defender. Loves to get physical. This will be a push on Michigan. 30 seconds.
Push, 30 seconds. 5 blue, push.
It's going to go against Bame. 30 seconds. Our officials today, P.J. Colello, Doug Donovan, Tim Chichia. Let's take another look right there.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
an easy one.
Pretty clear with possession. So a 30-second penalty against Michigan.
Hopkins on the power play, the extra man, under 40%. Just okay.
Yep.
With these sharpshooters, watch 34 and 40. They can stretch the D with the left hand.
That's Degnan right there. Melendez will take the shot and score. Man up or not, 31 needs it. And he gets one.
When you're playing up top next to number 40, Garrett Degnan, all eyes are on the player with the longest goal-scoring streak in Johns Hopkins history. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room if you're Russell Melendez. The shot placement on this one is perfection. Righty goalie, lefty side pipe. This is just what Melendez needs. He steps in, and the placement on that shot, too.
I like that he stepped in before he even got the ball. It was like he was in shooting position as soon as that ball hit his cross.
Anytime you can get that momentum and you get to plant that front foot, and the plant comes from the body exchange from your back hip to your front hip and land with that front foot, you're going to get power in that shot.
Man up goal clears the box, so we're at even strength as once again Michigan wins the faceoff, or I should say, Michigan won the faceoff. They have dominated at that faceoff dot. Cohen back to Bame.
Be a quick slide here.
Bame got free, shot it too high.
If you're Hopkins, you want to go quicker. And Michael Bame, who's oh so close to being the all-time leading point scorer in Michigan history. What's he, one away?
He got the assist earlier. He's tied at the top spot for points. One behind in goals. Underneath. What a goal! No, they'll wave it off. Lockwood had a foot in the crease. The official was quick to come in and wave it off.
Yeah, even if he didn't land in the goal mouth, which he did, wouldn't have been a goal, because from the looks from up top here, he landed in the goal mouth and his foot was in the outside circle of the crease. Left side of your screen, we'll take another look at it here. I think he has the foot in the crease right there, and then he lands in the goal mouth. So even if he doesn't have the foot in the outside crease area, he lands in the goal mouth.
Hopkins has scored a couple in a row, got a little momentum here. Coming off of Melendez's man-up goal, here's Angeles. Working on Whitney, their #1 defender, 14 in blue. Degnan trying to get free. Case Van Wees has done a pretty good job on him today so far. Melendez has been operating from this spot. Shoot, save. Now a loose ball, force save on the day for Taylor. A lot of physical play in the middle of the field today. Aronson gets it back to Bame as Morgan checks in along with Lockwood.
Setting a lot of picks for Michael Bame. Seeing switches this time. Kilrain fights through the pick.
Both of them. Cohen makes the extra pass. Aronson couldn't get a very good shot off, though, but it's tracked down by Bame. The horn sounds to end this first quarter. entertaining back and forth. 3-goal streak here, 2-goal streak there, and a man-up goal by Hopkins makes it just a 1-goal deficit after 1.
Spring is in the air. We're almost at April. It's Big Ten time. These teams know you win this game, you're in a great spot early season with Penn State. We got a good one brewing in Baltimore, Cotter. TJ Malone, I had him on my big board there, the attackman from Penn State. Kind of a flex player. I look at him as unique from the perspective that he could play attack or midfield. But there's so many,
you know who I like?
Incredible talent too.
That LSM from Albany.
Oh, we saw him last summer in San Diego.
Right. He's a beast. Look at this ball moving off the face-off, and Erlin is forced to make a good save.
Jake Pacino plays for Scott Marr at Albany. He's 5'8". He played for the Haudenosaunee in the World Games in San Diego. He was all-world, playing with the best players in the world a summer ago. What he's done this season, he's tailor-made for the PLL, because when you're a defender and if you could shoot, once you cross the midline, you could stay on and generate offense. That's what makes the defenders kind of the next evolution of that position in the PLL.
Got an injury here. I think it's Quentin Kilrain got, he either has an equipment situation, which it may be the case, or he got a little bit of a hand injury. May have taken a shot or a stick on that right hand as he's got the glove off. We'll keep an eye on 6 and white. As Jacob Stabner comes in, transfer from Princeton, young man out of Texas, 28 and white, will take the place of Kilrain, at least for the time being, as he's having that right hand looked at on that Hopkins sideline.
Kilrain's as good as any freshman defender nationally.
Pass deflected a couple of times. Old Michigan keeps it in, and Cahal Roberts tiptoed that midfield line so he didn't go offside. Ball was tipped, so he was able to push it back into the offensive end.
It's a little dramatic.
Yeah. Cahal showing his dexterity, if you will. The Irishman.
Oh, yeah. He's been awesome. Leads the team and calls turnovers.
Also a Princeton transfer, grad transfer. Oh, Erlin makes the save on Tiernan.
Tiernan typically makes that one count. Leading goal scorer in the nation. It's like a slam dunk type of player because he plays crease attack. Rarely floats on the perimeter. Wants to own the paint. And that time, Chase Erlin played his angles beautifully. Stuffed Tiernan.
Hopkins wants a timeout to talk things over. 13:35 here in this second quarter. Trailing by a goal. We got a good one here at Homewood. Don't go anywhere.
Struggling could be a little bit of an overreaction because they're in every single game. John Tillman's one of the best, if not the best coaches in college lacrosse. He'll figure it out. The biggest problem for Maryland right now is finding offense from their midfield. The players up top initiating offense from a dodging perspective. They need some of those playmakers to emerge. But defensively, they've been really solid. Logan McNaney's one of the better goalies in the country. And they have Penn State tomorrow night, so they can completely turn things around.
No question. You only play 5 league games in the Big Ten, so every game is huge and an opportunity to put yourself in a much better position. Melendez just tracks us down. Look at him, surrounded by 5 defenders, loses his footing, and now we get a flag. Great hustle by 31 and white to draw the penalty.
Yeah, blue, 1-7. Cross-check. Personal foul, 1 minute.
Got a cross-check there.
Take a look at Ennis.
Yeah, Ennis with the cross-check. Melendez was swarmed by 1, 2, 3, 5 blue shirts here.
There it is right there.
Yeah, that's a good call. Can't have your hands separated, thrusting towards the upper body there.
So it's a minute man up for Hopkins, and they're 1 for 1 so far on the day with Melendez scoring the goal.
Yeah, and he's going to have another opportunity potentially.
He's up top on the far side. inside, bouncer.
See, when you have Degnan up top, right, if Melendez, who had the outside shot earlier and canned it, if you have that outside presence, you're going to have those inside opportunities by guys like Collison.
Now here's Chauvet. Degnan. Melendez shoots. He shoots it wide. Taylor was closest to the ball when it went out, so it's going to be Michigan's ball. That's a huge missed shot and turnover to Michigan.
It's a horrible mistake by Johns Hopkins. If you're closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds on a shot, you'll retain possession. Melendez's shot has to be backed up there. I mean, that is a costly mistake by Johns Hopkins.
Curry in a little bit of trouble here, and he goes out of bounds. Peshko did a nice job to get the ball back.
Michigan is allowing Hopkins to stay in this game. 7 turnovers in the first quarter. As much as we've seen some precision-type passing from the Wolverines, some sloppy play as well.
Now full strength. As Clay comes on for Michigan along with Bauer for Hopkins. So an extended defensive possession here for the Maize and Blue. Pedersen. Shot too high that time from Collison.
You know, we talked about Maryland not having the dodging answers. I think Hopkins, you need to have a big dose of 16 in white. Collison, Peshko, 51 in white. Those guys need to be initiators. Dodge with conviction. I thought Collison was tremendous in the win over Virginia down at Charlottesville with the 4 goals.
Here it's Bauer to Degnan. Angeles. Quarterback from X. Trying to break free from Whitney. Can't do it. Gets it back up top. Now Bauer to the far side. Peshko. Degnan. Tough angle.
It's exactly what you want to do if you're Michigan. Force Degnan to put it in his right hand while he's losing his angle. He's a natural lefty. Scores 90% or more of his goals with his left hand. You force him to his weak hand, pushing him down the alley with little angle. That's the defense you want from Michigan.
Hopkins thought we should have had a reset on that shot clock. I thought Taylor might have gotten a piece of it as well, but it wasn't granted. But Hopkins gets it back anyways. Another turnover for Michigan. Will the Blue Jays look for early offense? Degnan! This time he got into his left, and he scores.
If you're Bo Pedersen, use those legs, use the brute force that you have. Motor it from one end to the other. He stops his feet, and yet another turnover by Michigan. Allowing Hopkins to stay in this game. Striking in transition. A miscue into a goal by guess who? Garrett Degnan. The scoring streak just continues and continues. Now at 40, the most in Johns Hopkins history. That's a big goal for the Blue Jays to hit in transition. Their settled offense not getting much of that dodging. The one-on-one play that I mentioned. Find other ways to strike and to score. And in transition, with all the stick handlers and the skill-type players of the Blue Jays.
Loose ball hold against Michigan, and Weller on that face-off. So officially the first face-off win for Hopkins here at just about the 10-minute mark of this second quarter.
Yeah, we knew that would be a major discrepancy, but not to that extent.
Yeah, but still only, you know, it's all tied up at 4 apiece. The other Chauvet.
And the reason being is because you have all these added possessions at the face-off X by Michigan, but they're giving it away with all the turnovers.
Taylor with a nice save, because that was a good opportunity for Hopkins. Save number 5 on the afternoon. Melendez had a really good look.
I think Melendez could have thrown a fake or two on Taylor.
Taylor now trying to get it across that midfield line, and they do. Michigan wants a timeout, and they get the call.
His whole life, but now he comes through the box, and sometimes he plays attack, sometimes Ryan Cohn will play midfield. They'll switch, and it puts a lot of pressure on a defense because it's hard to scout when there's so much movement and guys aren't in traditional spots.
Michigan has gone scoreless on this end now, 11+ minutes. As Hopkins has fought back to turn a 4-1 deficit in the game, all leaving at 4 apiece. Lockwood has 2 on the day already. That pass too high for Bame. Now he can't find it. Ball right on the end line, still loose. Now we get a whistle. Loose ball push.
They go against push on Bame or Lockwood. That was a behind-the-back pass by Lockwood. I actually thought it was a decent pass. I don't think Bame was expecting it. Like, the delivery where the ball was certainly catchable, but I think he threw him off guard. There's the cause turnover leader for Michigan. Khalil Roberts with another one, 9 in blue, all over the field.
Big hitting in the middle of the field. Michigan comes out of there with it, though. Cohn. He gets checked, picks it back up again, and we get a timeout as you see Connery running downfield and make sure he gets the TO and keep possession.
It's a great timeout call.
Cohen was in all sorts of trouble down there in the corner. Connery shows that speed that got him that 1 assist when he was a defender playing for Hopkins on this very field a few years ago.
Graduate of Johns Hopkins, 2004, played for Dave Petramala. Missed that national championship season in 2005 by just a year. It's been spectacular the last few seasons. And when he was playing last year with Nick Rowlett, they had 2 face-off guys, so he still has more tread on the tire than a lot of these fourth-year face-off guys, too. So when you have 2, and then it's your position solely, basically, your final year or 2, you're a lot fresher. I worry about a face-off guy who's the guy right away as a freshman, Cotter, like just getting pounded. It's such a position that requires so much of a physical taxing.
You think about a guy like Petey LaSalle, who did all the draws for Virginia because of COVID for like 5 years. Look out, Tiernan, no chance. You're going to stop that.
You know, seeing it live's a little different. When I dissected Justin Tiernan on tape, I thought he did a phenomenal job of scoring goals without changing levels. Most times you want to tell players, catch the ball high, shoot low, change levels on a goalie. He catches high and he shoots high a lot. The reason why he's so successful, though, is because how quick the release is. Bo Lockwood, second on the team in assists. Spot feeds Tiernan, and watch how quick this release is. Even in slow motion, it's in his stick for a fraction of a second, and the big body, the 6'3" frame, just towers over the goalie. But you can shoot without changing levels if you have a rapid-fire release. Ball in your stick, it's out.
That time Callahan won the face-off, but Michigan gets it right back and puts it right in the back of the net. There he is, the all-time leading scorer in Michigan history, and now tied for the all-time goal-scoring record in Michigan history, Michael Bame.
Told you when the rule changed, you wanted face-off specialists who are light on their feet, good on the ground, and can start transition. That play had a little bit of everything, what we felt. But this moment is all about Michael Bame. Comes to Michigan from the state of Ohio, a scrappy, undersized hockey player with the heart of a champion. And when you talk to people around the program, he embodies everything this team, everything this program wants to be. He's the ultimate teammate, and his skill set is off the charts in terms of how much of a dual threat he is. He's the all-time leading point scorer in Michigan, goal scorer now tied, but he'll also be top 5 in assists too by the time he leaves. What a remarkable career.
Ronda has defender draped all over him.
I remember doing a feature on Bame a couple years ago, and after I was done with it, I remember saying to myself, this is the kind of guy that you just want to be around all the time. The positive energy, the way that he loves the game of lacrosse.
Roddick gets a step down, and unfortunately shoots it high. He's not happy with himself that he didn't put that one on target.
The type of teammate, Cotter, that when you talk to people around the program, not one person gives you an inch of a thought that he's not the ultimate guy.
Tiernan hit the pipe, stays out. Again, you saw that phenomenally quick release from 44, but a chance here for Hopkins. Good ball movement. Tough angle shot by Angeles. Wasn't on target. It'll stay with the Blue Jays.
I thought Angeles froze for a second, tried to kind of have a little deception with Taylor, the goalie. I thought he could have caught that ball. He could have made a movement upfield to increase his angle.
The extra
to
step
score
to
on
greatness.
Taylor.
Yeah. A nod to Quinn Kasnick, who will be calling the next game.
Yes.
Which is going to be a great one.
Yes, with Mike Corey out in South Bend.
Syracuse and Notre Dame coming up after this game.
Yeah, the Irish have had the orange number, I think 5 in a row. Some of them
Kavanaugh's
crazy.
Feasted in those games.
Pat Kavanaugh in 6 games has almost 50 points against Syracuse. That's insane.
As you were saying last night at dinner, this is a different Syracuse team defensively. That's a great move. This time, he stays out of the crease, and it's going to be a good goal for the Blue Jays. Melendez, he's starting to heat up a little bit.
That first goal by Melendez was huge. When you're a player who's struggling just a little bit, you start thinking too much. But if you start hot, the confidence starts to brew. He's been getting to the rack multiple times, and that's a fantastic move here. When you watch Melendez, he dips underneath Clay, but as he dips underneath Clay, if you watch his footwork there, it's all upfield. A lot of players at that spot will dip underneath the defender and they'll go horizontal, but they lose their angle. He dips underneath Clay, but his first step is north, right? It's north of the goal.
This time we felt a little too quick on the whistle. It's first violation of the half. Just a 1-goal game here at Cart. Man, we've had some momentum swings in this game.
Tell you, Melendez can get going from a dodging perspective. That opens up so many other options for this Johns Hopkins team.
Angeles got free from Whitney just a little bit. Good pass inside. Ball over the back, over the shoulder for Melendez. Yeah, he's heating up all right.
This is confidence. This is saying to the Homewood field, I'm the man right now. Give me the rock. First half hat trick for 31 in white. You saw him dodging. You saw him spraying it from the outside. And then the backhand glory for Russell Melendez, a player that has highlight reel goals written all over him. It's just a matter of him feeling it, believing it, getting involved early from a confidence standpoint. Melendez has given you a little bit of everything, Cotter. The outside game, the dodging game, the creativity. It's been his half.
Erlin makes a good save. He had Mulholland coming in with a full head of steam out of the box.
What I was talking about, too, with Melendez, if he continues to dodge, that will open up more for his attack line mate, Angeles, right? Because you're going to have to show a little bit more off of Melendez. And if you show off of a wing dodger like Melendez,
he'll do that.
He'll do that.
Wow. Everybody's starting to eat right now for light blue and white.
The eyes are on Melendez, who's got the 3 goals in the first half. But this time he's the passer, the initiator. Gets it on the wing here. It's a beautiful cut by Pesco, and what Pesco does too is he keeps the stick, the head of his stick, kind of tight to his head. And that's where the release is. If he catches that ball and he brings the stick back, he's gonna get trail checked by the defender. So smart to understand where the pressure is from the Michigan defense.
Now both of these face-off men, or all of them I should say, because all four of them are having a hard time getting a feel for the whistle. It's another violation. And this time it's gonna go against Michigan. That's their third face-off violation they have, so Weller's gonna have to serve a 30-second penalty.
What I was getting at before, Melendez dish to Pesco. If he continues to dodge, they'll have to show more on the wings, right, in helping out. And that's going to open up opportunities behind for Angeles to have more uncontested feeds and passes. And who's on the backside? The big dog, 40 and white.
Got the ball in his cross right there. There's Melendez, who has the one-man-up goal on the doorstep shot. That scores! Now he's got a man-up goal, and Hopkins has all the momentum. 4 in a row for Johns Hopkins.
A lot of times you'll see an inside finish and you'll say, no big deal. This is brilliant because he catches a really hard pass, and instead of panicking, he keeps his feet and he doesn't let his momentum take him behind the cage. You see the tiptoeing? He wants to keep his base right there. The Blue Jay faithful know it. That freshman is going to score a lot of goals on Homewood Field. A lot of times, Cotter, you'll catch that ball and the momentum takes you behind the cage because the pass was across your face, right? So your body positioning will take you behind. You saw him kind of tiptoeing and staying in that spot so he didn't lose his angle.
Stancil trying to pick up the loose ball. Bodies flying everywhere. Wheatfeld is able to finally track it down. Now he gets it taken away and we get a flag. Wheatfeld paid the price, but he gladly did it to get possession to the Wolverines. And now Michigan's going to go man up.
Personal foul, 46 white. Slash, 1 minute. 46 white.
Get physical.
Yeah, no slash, so that'll be a 1 minute penalty against Patrick Deans. Right there.
Yeah, they got him good right in the back. It's a good extra man unit.
Yeah,
Michigan, 47% on the season.
Yeah, 7th in the country coming in.
Scott Beta, the offensive coordinator, I think he's one of the better offensive minds in college lacrosse. We got two great ones with Crowley and Hopkins, too.
Cohen, tough angle. Back up top to Lockwood.
What they do here is they have a triangle on the left side between Lockwood, Cone, and Bain.
Fires that pass inside. Nice catch by Isaac Aronson. Back up top to Lockwood. Bain, nice catch. Tough angle, shoots and scores though. Cohen makes it work for him.
Watching this power play on tape, fascinated that they're not very scripted. It's a seasoned bunch that Scott Beta, the offensive coordinator, gives the reins to the players because you have guys like Ryan Cone, like Michael Bain, who've been around forever. I mentioned they have that left-sided triangle between Lockwood, Bain, and Cohen. And there's not too many design plays out here. It's just all instincts and finding the pressure. And when you have players that have the instincts of those three, great things happen. You don't have to be scripted on extra man because you have a 6-on-5 situation. Let your playmakers make the play and understand that they need to react off the instincts of the defense and where the pressure's coming from.
Wheatfeld again. Wins the draw. 14 out of 17 now was Michigan at that face-off dot. And that's why they've been able to squash any big runs by the Blue Jays from getting too big. They've been able to stay in this game because now they've been able to put together runs of their own when they own the face-off dot.
And that's why you like them in close games. You have the ultimate equalizer in Wheatfeld.
It's been a game of runs. Hopkins had a 4-goal run, a 3-goal run. Michigan had a 3-goal run. Now Michigan looking to make it 2 straight on this possession. Help comes, so Bame gets rid of it. Now behind to Cohen. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Rhonda wanted it up top. Bame couldn't find him on the skip pass. 15 to shoot. Here's Rhonda. Help comes, though, in the form of Zuluk, so he's going to have to get rid of it. Lockwood, look at that pass. Cohen couldn't handle it as the shot clock was winding down. Worth the try.
I don't know how it got through.
I know it can only be 6 sticks, but it looked like 26 sticks that he got it through.
When you're passing in 2024 like Bo Lockwood, your confidence goes up. Only Michael Bame had more assists coming into today's contest. It's over 20 already on the season, so he's got the confidence to thread the needle.
Hopkins wants to talk things over, calling a timeout with 2:03 left to go in this first half.
This is, you talk about a matchup between Pedersen and Collison. That is a lot of beef.
That's it.
It's 500
You're
pounds.
going to see some collisions in that one. Pedersen, of course, his father and grandfather played football at Michigan.
Here it is. This is a Chris Cotter matchup right here.
89.
Pure beef.
Michigan 16 for Hopkins. Collison sends it back behind to Bauer. He's drawing the pole with Cahal Roberts. Now back up top. Peshko. Nice catch by Angelos. Back behind to Bauer. Melendez.
Oh, moving pick.
Yep.
That's a tough one. We knew that Hopkins was going to play a lot of the pick game because Michigan has struggled in some spots.
Broken stick on the field. Let's see what Michigan and Morgan can do. Morgan's wearing 66 today, not his normal number.
Game clock, shot clock, only about 2 seconds difference. So they could essentially hold for this last shot here.
And it looks like Lockwood and company are going to be patient.
See Connery right down there, the head coach. He wants them to be patient here. I always say attack around 20 to 15 with backup so you have multiple opportunities.
Zoronsky steps out to meet Lockwood. Lockwood's just going to hang on to it here and run a little bit of this clock. Now with 20 seconds, they'll get going. Cohen. Going to dodge on Smith, nothing doing. Gets it back up to Lockwood. Switches to his left. Good look inside. Mulholland nowhere to go with it.
It's a great double. You saw the shirts. Once they saw the back of Mulholland's helmet, they swarmed. Beautiful double by the Blue Jays.
Horn sounds to end the first half on Michigan's 12th turnover forced by this Blue Jay defense. And we have reached the midpoint of this game. Very entertaining first half of lacrosse. 8-7. Johns Hopkins on top. Coach Connery gets the fellas into the locker room. A first half of streaks. The 4-goal streak by Hopkins late, helping them forward just 1 goal advantage. Turf that they installed.
This is a beautiful, beautiful pitch, right? No football lines. You know how I feel about football lines on a lacrosse field. Just looks so much better and cleaner.
And immediately Callahan with the face-off violation. So that's 1 already in this second half against Hopkins.
Where'd the sun go?
I know, I said beautiful sunny Baltimore, and it was like the broadcaster's jinx. The sun went away immediately. Rhonda with a heavy shot, missed everything. Backed up by Michigan though. Cohen trying to use a pick. Zuluk got a stick up in the passing lane. Now he does a beautiful job tipping it to himself. Here comes Hopkins. That's Deans. Gets it to Melendez.
Angeles has been a little quiet. You know, Melendez is
dominated,
yep, taking the reins of the offense, but that's the quarterback, 23 in white.
23 and 40, the two that you would expect to be the offensive stars for Hopkins, haven't been, and yet they still have the lead in this game because of this guy right here, 31.
But it's a good sign long term, right? Get others involved. You can't rely on those two every single time out. So getting a guy like Melendez to play to his potential is huge.
Shot score! Collison. Angeles on the assist. Hopkins back on top by 2.
That's what you want out of your quarterback, your point guard, your distributor. Jacob Angeles, one of the best passers in college lacrosse, with a huge target, Matt Collison. 6'4", a lot like Justin Tiernan. The inside presence, they give you a ton of target. And the ability also, if there's defensive pressure in the hands, it's like swatting a fly when you're that big.
Angeles has 3 dimes so far in this game. Got so many good battles off the face-off dot in the middle of the field, and that time Callahan does a nice job picking up the GB. Here comes Hopkins again.
Good sign.
Yeah, now they'll swap out.
Good sign being able to win some contested draws against Wheatfeld. One of the best in the country, and he dominated in that first half, 14 for 17 at the X.
Now Melendez running out of the box on this possession. Over to Degnan. Chauvet with a shot that whistles wide. Ayers, his fellow freshman, picks it up on the end line.
He's one of the quicker players on the field right here. This kid has tremendous upside. Watch the first step, the quickness.
Degnan couldn't get a shot off. And Weiss again has done a very nice job, 16 in blue. Angeles through traffic. Degnan with the lefty, stings the corner. Wow.
Hammer time, Cotter. Who'd we say was quiet in the first half? Angeles and Degnan. What two are responsible for the last 2 goals? Angeles, the passer on the Collison goal. And this is just sweet heat by Garrett Degnan. Tells you the wrist strength because he doesn't even move his lower feet. Like, he catches basically, right? You see the torque in the hips and the rotation. A lot of times you'll see Degnan catch. You'll be 1 or 2 steps into it. It was like a half a step, but just shows you the wrist strength and the hip rotation of the outside shooter in Garrett Degnan.
Angeles has assisted on 4 of their last 5 goals, and they're winning possession on faceoffs here in the second half. And this 3-goal advantage, their largest lead of the day.
What makes a great passer, too, like Angeles, he just senses the timing of cuts. He senses when players can get open. And it's a really hard thing to pinpoint, to say the ball has to go to this player here or there. It's a total instinct type of play when you're a passer at the level of Jacob Angeles.
Taylor with the save. Dangerous ball in front. Roberts comes out of there with it. 6th save of the day for Taylor. Bam, looking to strike quickly. Finds a trailer in Pedersen. Thought about stepping down, increased his angle. Now he shoots. Erlin makes the save. Ball also in front. Broken stick. Bodies everywhere. A couple of broken sticks.
Yeah, Kilrain. This game's getting physical.
Yeah, Tiernan broke his stick. Leaves the carnage behind. It's Hopkins' ball. Erlin just made his 8th save of the game.
Good one, too. Because Pedersen caught that ball, and I thought when he started to come towards the middle of the field and increase his angle, he was going to can that one.
Bauer on the run. Bauer can't handle it. Picked up by Michigan. Whitney. And Michigan calls for a timeout as Connery saw his freshman long pole in trouble.
You could think burning a timeout that early could be costly, but this game, you feel, could be getting away for Michigan, so head coach Connery calls it at the right time. Duke, who was averaging 18 goals a game to just 4 in the Dome, gives the Orange Nation some hope that maybe this time they could stop Pat Cavanaugh.
Here, an early timeout by Coach Connery in this second half. To save a possession, so let's see if it pays off here. Zulu coming out to Lockwood all the way to the sideline.
And they have confidence. They've caused 9 turnovers today, Johns Hopkins. Michigan has only caused 2. So they've been able to offset the face-off dominance in the middle of the field and causing turnovers, harassing the offensive players for Michigan. Here's another one.
Again, causing the turnover. Picks up the ground ball. Navilas will look to clear. To Jaronsky, who had a goal earlier in the day. Now to Degnan. Now this second midfield unit for Hopkins. Ayers, Grimes, Chauvette runs onto the field. Tough angle shot by Grimes, pings it off the side of the pipe.
That was a sick pass by Melendez. A lot of times you bring the stick back to throw the pass, but there's so much deception in what they call a lever pass, right? It's like a lever. That little subtle motion doesn't give the defense time to react to the pass.
And right now, Melendez is pulling all the right levers for Hopkins. Over to Brendan Grimes, now behind the cage. Angeles. Been an assisting machine here of late for Hopkins. Degnan had to get it back into his right. He'll shoot with his right and high.
Righty way more than I'm accustomed to. This is a guy who loves the heavy left hand, 40 and white.
Chauvette, tough angle. Didn't have much of an angle at all. Still Ayers wins the battle of the ball.
I don't like that call. On a shot, it's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. Hopkins was closer to the sideline, but I don't think the ball on that
right. They got the break, though. Now Angeles. Melendez, another good look. Taylor makes the save. Ball free on the end line. Tantalizingly free. Picked up by Angeles. Watch out here. Ayers shoots. No, can't get it through, though. Cahal Roberts blocked that one. Roberts trying to fight through a pick. Melendez spinning. Knocked off his feet. Gets to Angeles, though. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 35 seconds for Hopkins. So what does Degnan do here? There's the left. Decides not to shoot it. Ayers comes upfield, uses a pick nicely. Now the bounce shot. Taylor makes the save. 8th save of the afternoon for Taylor. Aronson. Gotta clear it. Michigan has gone scoreless so far in this third quarter. Cohen looking to change all that down the alley. Back up top. Ronda. Ronda has not been able to get loose today. Hasn't been able to let loose that shot of his. Maybe he'll get something here going against a shorty. Back to his left.
Short stick defensive midfielders for Hopkins. Jaronski, Martin, those guys have been stout.
Dane. Here's Rhonda going against one of those shorties, and Brett Martin, the best one of the bunch. Bame comes upfield, has no angles, question marks. Erlin makes the stop.
The footwork of a question mark dodge is so critical. Michael Bame was probably 2 or 3 yards too shallow, because when he came out of that from a right to left roll, very little angle. And on a goalie as experienced as Chase Erlin, playing his angles and on the pipe, too easy.
Peshko looking for a pick. Down the alley against Billig. Short stick deep, meaty for Michigan. Bauer comes in with a full head of steam. Melendez can't get it to him, though. Instead, it's Angeles over here on the wing. And up top to Collison. Melendez looking for a pick from Angeles. Doesn't use it. 10 seconds to shoot. Peshko looking to lead into his defender. Pass goes wanting for Angeles. Now Hopkins does best to just drop it in the corner.
Michigan's been much better today against the pick offense of Johns Hopkins. There's been games this season where Michigan has struggled mightily against the picks. And I thought in the first half, they were good, continuing to play the pick game pretty well.
Hopkins does a good job getting back into the hole, preventing any quick offenses. Bame was looking for it in the middle of the field. Now they'll get it to Morgan, and Cohen coming out of the box now, 40 in blue. Cohen just charges through that defense, gets it to Mulholland on the far side. Looking for Bame way up top. Still plenty of time to shoot. 20 seconds for Michigan. Now a flag. This one's going to go against Hopkins. Tiernan's
spot.
He's just kicking himself because he knows.
He's
right there.
Yeah, he knows. We'll watch that.
Then he
on
picked
tape.
up the loose change and thought, what do I have here? Just couldn't find the net.
White, number 6, cross check, 1 minute.
Another cross check.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Looked like he was fighting through a pick. Wouldn't kill Rain. The top young defenders nationally. Yeah, when you fight through that pick, you can't.
It's just the extension of the
thrust
arms.
your two arms. The cross check. That's a good call.
So it'll be a minute man up for Michigan.
So I talk about this triangle. There's a triangle between 2, 5, and 40. Lockwood, Bame, Cohen. You watch here. This triangle between the three of them, it manipulates the defense. They bring the defense out. And then it's finding the next 2-on-1 between those three on this left side.
And that's Lockwood. Cohen to Bame. Cohen, tough angle.
See it though, right? Like it's not scripted. It's a freelance type of power play, extra man. Oof.
Ooh, Smith took a big hit.
That was a good one.
But did well to keep it in balance, but Michigan comes up with a loose ball.
This game's physical.
Still time on this Michigan man up. Can they get settled back in? Cohen running in from the box. Tough angle. Bame makes it work for him, though. Michigan needed that one.
That relentless ride and the way that they redefended when Hopkins was trying to clear it ultimately gave them another opportunity late in the extra man to cash in. And this extra man's checking in around 50%, one of the better ones in the country, because of those 3 players that work that triangle on the left side. Bain, no player in Michigan history has more points than 5 in blue. And the IQ, too, Cotter. They just understand each other so well, and the spacing and the ability to get the defense to commit in that next 2-on-1.
How about Logan Callahan in this second half? Winning faceoff for Hopkins. You see he gets the congratulations of his teammates when he goes over to the sideline. Wheatfeld was dominating him in the first half, and he's come to play here in the second. Last 2 goals scored by Michigan have been extra man goals. And to my point there, as Russ DeLynn, our statistician, points out, Callahan's won the last 3 draws for Hopkins.
Home game for DeLynn.
Doing double duty today. He's also going to stat that Notre Dame-Syracuse game coming up. He's going to earn his paycheck today.
Yeah, you would have thought he would have bought us some lunch or something, right?
Such a lack of appreciation for us. We really are not doing him any favors here.
You know, if you came to my hometown, I would have fed you with the best,
oh my God,
best food available in town, right?
Lamb ragu, some gabagool. Oh, the bouncer had a little English on it. That fooled Hunter Taylor. I got to see this shot again from Brendan Grimes.
You're talking about ragu and gabagool. This thing was moving at snail's pace like it was some fresh mutts finding the top corner. This one threw me off, Cotter, completely. Uses the turf, and the ball just kind of skips off the turf.
This could be a good angle right here.
There's no step from Taylor either. Taylor is caught kind of guessing, right? Guessing low, but his mechanics and the way that he approaches the ball. Typically as a goalie, you want to step, right? Explode to the ball. He was on his heels there.
That's why I thought maybe that ball took a funny bounce off the turf. And Grimes bounced it a good 8 yards before the goal.
Yeah, but when you watch the highlight or the replay, what's evident is the ball trajectory wasn't as strange as we initially thought. It was more
Taylor
of the
guessing.
reaction to Taylor, right? Taylor's reaction, he's on his heels. He's not moving.
Hopkins has forged this 3-goal lead. They've taken a shot from Michigan and bounced back with a goal of their own. They're doing much better at the faceoff dot, which is why with just over a minute left to play in this third quarter, they've got the advantage at home. Bauer now coming upfield, being harassed all the way by Billy. Angeles. They play a 2-man game with Bauer. Bauer has nowhere to go with it as Billig stays on him. Now he skips it to the far side. Taylor saw that one all the way from Collison.
But that time you saw an explosive step to the ball.
Final handful of seconds of this third. Bain looking to make something happen. Now we're going to get a flag, delayed call. Offsides, maybe. I'm going to hold off on making the call, but Bain trying to make something happen here inside. Tiernan can't get a shot off. 4.4 remaining in the half. Let's get the call.
They're offsides, look like.
Technical foul. Offsides white to be served by the in-home.
Yeah,
31
Hopkins
white will
offside.
serve the foul. Technical foul, offsides, 31 will serve the foul. Reset the shot clock to 60.
So it'll put Michigan man up for 30 seconds with just 4.4 left to go in this third quarter.
They're going to hold the ball here. We'll start the fourth quarter with the ball.
And trailing by 3. third quarter better for that man right there, Coach Milliman and his Hopkins Blue Jays. They match their largest lead of the game, 3, as we head to the 4th here in Baltimore. Johns Hopkins up. Got star power all over the field here, and Michigan needs their stars to come through. Down 3 as we start this 4th quarter. A reminder, both teams come into this game 1-0 in Big Ten play, so the winner is in the catbird seat at 2-0. Especially if it happens to be Michigan when you think they've already beaten Maryland. Still got Penn State on the schedule. Both these teams do. Full strength as Hopkins is able to kill off that 1-minute penalty. More importantly for Michigan, they got possession to start this 4th. Now what can they do with it with just 16 seconds to shoot? Oh, Zuluka's had a fantastic game, and he causes another turnover.
That's been the story. This Hopkins defense, their relentless approach against Michigan.
15 turnovers for Michigan on the day.
And double digits in calls turnovers, too. So it's been full court press. A lot of times defensively, you'll see players kind of outside the restraining box, rarely taking those chances. Hopkins today, they're pressing, they're chasing these Michigan offensive players all over the field. 11 calls turnovers.
Yeah, 44 in white. Zuluka's had a great game.
He has.
We've seen a couple of big cause turnovers for him. Thwarting any momentum Michigan has on the end of that long possession there. Now Bauer looking to make something happen on the offensive end for Hopkins. Angeles going against the shorty Ennis here. Advantage Hopkins. Melendez thought about taking that extra step. Defense closes down on him. That's Clay, the freshman. Angeles coming upfield. Gets a nice pick. Collison shoots. Taylor saw it all the way. Pedersen now. After Taylor's 10th save, Pedersen with the punt return. Roberts was calling for it with the long pole. Instead, Pedersen holds off. Aronson, watch out here. Got room. Back to Pedersen. Tiernan flashing. Had him open momentarily. Boehm opting not to get it to him. Watch
Lockley a little
here.
high.
Yeah.
Tiernan normally is a little bit closer inside.
Now Ronda delayed coming out of the box. Dean saw him though. .25 to shoot. Aronson takes a shot. Good look to Cohen. He shoots. Chase makes the stop initially. It smothers it before it goes past the line.
His 12th save of the afternoon. Grad student. Played for Pete Milliman at Cornell early in his career. Using his last year of eligibility because of the COVID year and the Ivy not playing in 2021. He's been all over it in some big spots.
See on the left side of your screen going down to his knees.
Yeah, that ball was about to trickle past the goal line.
Just covered it up in time. Melendez on Clay. Ayers loses it initially, but gets it back though. Tough angle, wide. 32 seconds to shoot. Hopkins 3-goal advantage, matching their largest of the day. Ayers fires and Taylor steers it aside.
You know, Melendez has been the hot hand in the first half, a little quiet in the third quarter. He's been able to get you some separation from a dodging perspective. Angeles has come alive as a passer. But here's a matchup with Ayers. Watch the feet.
Angeles looking for a little two-man game with McDermott behind the cage. Gets it back to McDermott. He shoots and scores!
This is having the guts and the will to get to the paint. Initially, it looks like McDermott might have been stopped in his tracks from a hard rack check. Right there. Looks to see if he has the ball on his stick. But a lot of players, once they feel like they can get to the goal line, they take the shot right about here. He continues upfield, knowing that that extra step or two will increase his angle. And normally, defensively, you're protecting the paint, and you're going to feel someone in that spot. But Michigan doesn't have the help.
Callahan. His stick breaks in half.
Seen a bunch of those.
Yeah. Can Michigan take advantage? Bame tracks down the loose ball. 4-goal deficit, the largest of the game for the Wolverines. Bame back to his right, gets a pick. Tiernan scores. They got one back there.
What I love about Tiernan's Priest presence, 44 in blue, is such a big target, but he could shoot through pressure. So he catches this ball, and he soaks the check. Hopkins is a little out of sorts, probably slid too early, right? So the slide comes too early, and then you leave the inside unprotected. And that's the leading goal scorer in the nation coming into the weekend, and Justin Tiernan. They respond 39 seconds after the McDermott goal.
Another win for McDermott and this Hopkins team. McDermott did a great job on the wings, using 33 in offensive midi on the wings. We're seeing that a lot lately in college lacrosse, Carc, for instant offense.
Yeah, and you know, his prior goal too, there was no slide there. He only had 2 goals going into the contest. But the story of this second half is they flipped the script, though, in terms of getting dominated at the X. Now 6 in a row. That's crazy.
Wow.
They were 14 for 17, Michigan, facing off in the first half. Now 6 in a row for Hopkins.
Yeah, you get the sense that Michigan is going to have to return to that first half dominance if they're going to want to fight back into this game. Angeles. You know, now going with this lead and now going against a defense that has been worked very hard in this second half on this side of the field. Angeles back to his right against Pedersen, being hounded by the bigger Michigan D-midi. Pedersen just gets into his grill.
Does this every game. He just uses his strength. He's like the big brother in the backyard throwing the little brother around who has no chance of winning that physical battle. And that's why he'll be, I think, the first short stick defensive midfielder picked in the PLL draft.
Clean hit, too. I like the fact that the officials let that one go. Now Michigan's got to get something going. Down 3 as we get to 8 minutes left to go in this game. Top spot in the Big Ten on the line, at least until tomorrow afternoon's tilt between Maryland and Penn State. Cone down the alley. Nothing doing. The freshman, Kilray, forces him back behind the cage to Bame. Villas all over Bame, and it forces a bad pass.
Said it earlier, the short stick defensive midfielders, Martin, Juronsky, Avila's there. They've come to play in this game. They've played really strong defense when that's where Michigan has decided to attack.
Timeout called. before Degnan was able to get the shot off, and Millman is hot.
Probably wanted it earlier, and then maybe he said he waved it off. But a big turning event. Hopkins has the ball, and they're rolling.
Well, we knew this was going to be a big story coming into this game, Kark, and I think the first half played out probably even more so than we thought in terms of dominant in Michigan's behalf. But look at what Hopkins and specifically Logan Callahan has been able to do in the second half.
It's kind of shocking, too, because from a national perspective, Justin Wheatfeld has been a dominant face-off guy. And in the first half, he was dominant.
And that helped Michigan offset some of the turnovers that they were creating, or that they were guilty of, I should say.
Again, in the second half, that hasn't been the case, and Hopkins has been so pressure-heavy defensively, causing so many turnovers.
Here's Melendez. Hat-trick in the first half. It's been others like Grimes with the ball in his cross that have taken hold of the scoring duties here in the second. Here's Degnan. He's got 2 today. Tried to get underneath his defenseman. Thought about instead getting it to Melendez behind the cage. He comes upfield, working on Clay, the freshman. Bounces it, just sneaky shot. Taylor was ready for it, though. How about that shot? Just nonchalantly flipping that on goal to see what happens. 11 saves now for Taylor. Michigan may want to attack early. Babe's got space. Save made. Chase Erlin robs him on the doorstep.
He's been fantastic. 13th of the afternoon. And that could have given Michigan some juice. Cut it to 2. Erlin says, not on my dime.
Peshko to Bauer. Shoots and scores! Now that one, Kark, may have surprised Hunter Taylor a little bit.
Dylan Bauer with the assist. His high school teammate is Bo Pedersen. Physically a little different. This guy's a water bug with vision. He sees Peshko. I think Peshko uses those 2 Michigan players as a screen. I don't think Taylor has a beat on this shot. He's got one defender in front of him, and there's one that ducks. There's no way Hunter Taylor sees this ball. There's no reaction from him.
Out of the box. Knock it up, out of the box.
Peshko with the hat trick today.
If you're John Crawley and Peter Milliman, John Crawley, offensive coordinator, Milliman, the head coach, you want to see other players dominant offensively.
Angeles, too high.
You have Angeles, you have Degnan. But Melendez's hat trick, Peshko's hat trick, that gives you way more tools in the toolbox to play with as you approach April and you get deep into Big Ten play. And the more you get from Melendez and Peshko, the more space you get for this guy who's attacking a short stick in Collison.
Oh, what a pass. Oh, and a great goal by Degnan. That's ridiculous.
This is the pass of the day. One of the better passes I've seen this season. Talking about Melendez, talking about Peshko. Give a little bit more room to your super soft Matthew Collison. How does he make this pass? The slides there, the one-handed behind the back pass. He's a left-handed player and he throws this one-handed righty. That is insane. That is creative. That is feeling pressure and countering pressure and with the sickest pass.
Right on the money, too. Good on Degnan for not being shocked that that ball was coming right to his cross.
rarely do you see a one-handed behind the back pass, right? You'll see a one-handed shovel, but a one-handed behind the back with pressure, with a slide coming.
In all kinds of trouble. Speaking of which, Michigan here in all kinds of trouble. They get out of it though. Pedersen. Under 5 minutes now. It's got to be desperation time with a 5-goal disadvantage for Michigan. Got to get something going here.
Hopkins' defense has been very impressive.
Lockwood on Raposo. Now Zula comes to help. Tiernan can't do anything with it as he gets knocked off his feet. Timeout, though, called by Michigan before he loses the ball. Connery wants an explanation from the officials. I think maybe he wanted to push with possession there. Isn't going to get it. 5-goal lead for Hopkins at 4:15.
Of team come every Saturday.
It has been an impressive game and a more impressive second half for Hopkins. And we talked about how Michigan has been such a great team coming out of the locker room at halftime as Ronda scores right there. Michigan had to have it, but it has been Hopkins who's been the dominant team really in the second half. In this one, Michigan gets one back though, and Ronda finally finds the back of the net to make it a 4-goal deficit for Michigan. And now it's up. Wheatfeld's got to take over.
He has to. And Ronda's known as a sharpshooter. The grad transfer from Princeton. Bo Lockwood with another dish. But that's probably the only one I didn't think that Chase Erlin, body-wise, in the way he reacted to the ball. Normally there's more of a upfield step to the ball there. I think laterally he kind of got beat there. Probably the only goal that he'd want back.
Tyler Dunn will step in for Johns Hopkins to take this draw.
More of the same.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
On? McDermott trying to keep possession.
I like the play by Hopkins too, and giving Wheatfeld different looks too. Like you put Callahan a bunch out there. And then late in the fourth quarter, if you think Wheatfeld's going to see Callahan again, you throw him off by putting Dunn in there. So they've been playing a little bit of a chess match at the faceoff dot, and it's really benefited them in terms of responding from that first half dominance of Michigan.
Officials originally ruled that ball out of bounds to Hopkins, and then they changed the call, gave it back to Michigan, but they're having all kinds of problems here, and it's Degnan. How about that? What a ride by Degnan to get possession back to Hopkins. Took it right away from Hunter Taylor.
It's a smart, experienced attackman. Get engaged in the ride. You'll see 2 o'clock on ACC Network, Syracuse against Notre Dame.
Just underway. Looks like Hughes is struck first. They're up 1-0.
Yeah, Notre Dame can ride. When you try to clear the ball against the Kavanaughs and the Irish, you better buckle up. And that's what all great attackmen do, and Degnan knows in that spot. That could be a game-clinching type of ride.
Yeah, with the fresh 80 seconds on that shot clock, up by 4 goals at this point, that's big. Possession is huge here, and you can see Hopkins just wants to run that clock. More than content to run the shot clock down. Now at 20 seconds, Melendez might get a good look here. Instead, he just wants to keep possession. Hopkins bench wanted a slash. Didn't get it, but they keep possession. Ayers on the run. Now 5 to shoot. I imagine they'll just dump this thing in the corner and then take a shot. Oh, and it was touched by Taylor, the goaltender. I didn't see it from this angle, Clark, but the reset is huge for Hopkins.
That reset is game, set, match.
A fresh 60 at 2:12 for Hopkins.
If it hits the goalie, if it hits the pipes, it's a reset. Definitely didn't hit the pipe.
No, Taylor just got a piece of it. And the official was right on it, signaling the fresh 60 for Hopkins. And now you can see the desperation from Michigan defensively. Open goal, Angela scores. The dagger.
The dagger is right. And the Blue Jays will improve to 2-0 in conference play. And if Penn State beats Maryland tomorrow, next week Penn State Hopkins is for sole pole position.
I'll be here with King Q, Quinn Kesnick back home. That game will be huge, so obviously we're going to keep a close eye on Maryland Penn State tomorrow.
Be a top 8 matchup, regardless.
Yeah.
And the winner of that game will, as I said, be in a great spot to be the regular season champ in the Big Ten. Because when you're 3-0, and you have a win over Michigan,
30 seconds. White 30.
if you're Hopkins, and if you beat Penn State,
you're in a good spot.
Yeah, you have Ohio State left. You'll be favored in that game. And then you have what a lot of people think is the greatest rivalry in college lacrosse, Maryland-Hopkins. I still think Maryland, though, is
got
a
some
team that's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, later on in the
Don't
year.
count them out.
They always
Don't
seem
count
to
them
have it.
Yes.
Muddling through the middle of the season right now. His third face-off violation goes against Hopkins. So man up for Michigan. Have to score here. Have to. Rhonda. Back behind the cage. Lockwood. Bame. Bouncer scores. So Cohen gets one back here quickly. Now again, it falls on Wheatfeld's shoulders.
It's a great shot by Ryan Cohn. He had a similar goal on an extra man in the second quarter, but he sniped that one with his stick low and he went high. This time he bounces that shot. So you see a variety of release points, and the changing of levels from Ryan Cohn just shows you the lefty has the full arsenal. There's Kevin Conry. He's got his hands full now with this loss. It's percolating in Baltimore. And I think this is going to be one when they turn on the tape, Cotter. A lot of mistakes.
Cohen tried another bouncer there.
There were opportunities in that first half with the dominating play of Justin Wheatfeld. You thought when they were going on runs, they could have potentially put Hopkins away. But they didn't capitalize. Too many turnovers.
Yep.
They turned the ball over in the first half way too many times. They basically said, okay, we're going to take these face-off wins and we're going to negate them because we're going to turn the ball over that many times. The 12 turnovers in the first half and then the caused turnovers in the third quarter, I thought was the difference in this game.
Another big difference in this game has been Chase Erlin in net coming into this game in the top 20 in the country in both goals against average and save percentage. And he's been great.
You could argue he's the most experienced goalie in college lacrosse. He started as a true freshman at Cornell in 2019. 2020 was the COVID year. 2021, the Ivy shut it down. But in 2024, his 6th year in college lacrosse, he made some monster stops. And he is a calming presence. He's so mature. The 14 saves today. I thought there was probably only one goal that Michigan scored that Erlin would probably want back. As a goalie, you want them all back.
Yeah.
But one that he probably looked at and he said, I should have had that one.
Yeah, that Rhonda goal.
That was the Rhonda goal. Other than
right?
that, he's been fantastic.
He's got a minute and 15 now to stifle this Michigan offense and walk off with a win. Michigan needs one quick. Aronson will shoot, but doesn't get through. Cohen. Over to Lockwood, now to Rhonda. Got to get something in a hurry. Smith's all over him. Can't get by him. Bam. Cohen shoots wide. Dame tracks it down, but now under a minute. Don't forget Notre Dame and Syracuse going on right now over on the ACC network. Lockwood can't get anything going. Jaronski's had a good game. Tiernan shoots. That one looked like hit a defender in front.
I don't even know how he got that one off. He can score and get a shot off with regularity, with pressure on his bottom hand.
Look at that play. Degnan with a great catch in the offensive end. Now the Blue Jays will just look to run out this final 15 seconds. And the fans who made their way to Homewood today. It has been a rough week for the city of Baltimore, but their team in their sport, the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays, reward their loyalty with a big win today here at Homewood.
It was a massive win. Your stars came to play in Angeles and Degnan, but others emerged. The hat trick by Pesco, the hat trick by Melendez shows you the complete arsenal offensively that Pete Milliman has at his disposal. But make no mistake about it, Cotter. The defense came to play too, with Chase Erlin and the 14 saves, and I thought the defensive pressure by Hopkins was relentless all afternoon, causing turnovers.
You mentioned it. Guys like Smith, Kilrain, Zuluk had a great game. The D middies, Raposo, Jaronski, he even had a goal. And then Brett Martin, and of course, the maestro on the back end, Chase Erlin with 15 saves and the W. That man right now will watch Penn State and Maryland tomorrow and get ready for the Nittany Lions next week right here at Homewood. It was a battle for the top spot. And right now, Hopkins reigns supreme in the Big Ten. For Paul Carcaterra, Russ DeLynn, and our entire crew here in Baltimore, I'm Chris Cotter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.